Astlibra Revision is officially launching onto the Nintendo Switch on November 16th later this year. And today I want to provide you guys with a little bit of everything you need to know type video for those new who may not necessarily know much about this highly anticipated game that actually, when it launched back in 2022 on PC via Steam, received, I believe it was like 96% positive reviews. So it's an amazing experience that just a lot of people on consoles specifically have never been able to get their hands on. About 6 months ago, the game was officially revealed to be coming to the Nintendo Switch, but we were basically waiting for some sort of release date confirmation for this side-scrolling action RPG, and basically we now have it for a November 16 release. For those who may not necessarily know, you're going to be exploring a vast, dangerous yet beautiful world broken through multiple chapters. Join the protagonist and Charon by taking bird companions as they confront time and fate, slashing, smashing, thrusting countless enemies while building up stamina and powerful possession skills, which are enough to melt away anything that blocks your way, including huge bosses that could take half or even more than 3/4 of the entire screen. As you fight aggressively while thinking strategically, always pick up the most thrusty weapons to be part of your equipment and select the best suited skills to deal with ever-changing circumstances. Battles can be ferocious as you fight through bosses through many of the story components. Each have their own set of attacks and different challenges to boot. Upgrading your abilities and acquiring new skills are vital to finishing each one of the individual boss fights and progressing through the protagonist's story. As a warrior mastering ranged combat weapons and bows and even throwing knives, you also have access to a mage slashing enemies with staffs and casting spells all at the same time. You can basically play the game any way you want, gathering experiences to level up, collecting forces to grow up, forging and mastering brand new equipment to open up new tactical areas. And the reason why this game is so interesting is because it was in 14 years of development, with more than another extra years or so for this brand new revision version, which is the one that's making its way into consoles later this year. This is an award-winning indie developed game by Kaizo, who gave all of us to be able to complete this title, and the plot keeps twisting as characters grow in an ever-expanding world. Basically, classic themes like time travel and tons of spoiler custom-made experiences are there readily available for you to be able to find in Astlibra. Many of the story elements are often made into different game mechanics, where, for example, your soulmate Karen is not your sidekick, but also the same person you're playing the game with. It's basically a back and forth type of experience that you haven't seen being done in other games before. Another thing that it provides with is a 6 difficulty options. All kinds of players can enjoy the combat system at your very own pace, and you can essentially finish the game in any one of these difficulties if you just want to experience the story, or if you basically want to play in the hardest difficulty available to you. A final chapter, the postscript, will be adding a brand new story mode, which is part of this brand new repackaged version, which basically adds a couple of brand new fresh systems and a couple of brand new skills and even equipment options that simply weren't there in the original available release. So if you ask me, this 2D side-scrolling action RPG looks fantastic. Certainly the trailers look standout for sure, and it's one of those games that I would love for people to be able to check out when it makes its way onto the Nintendo Switch. We do know that it's going to be $24.99 when it launches on November 16th. Thankfully, the developers also provided a brand new blog update where they give a little bit of an overview for the game as well. They talk about travel through unfamiliar worlds as you explore a vast, dangerous, yet beautiful world broken up through multiple chapters. Join the protagonist and Karen, his talking bird companion, as they confront both time and fate. Back in the golden age of JRPGs, with side-scrolling action, slashing, smashing, and thrusting countless enemies, while building up stamina with powerful skills to be able to possess, which are enough to melt away anything that blocks your way, including huge bosses that could take off half or of course even 3/4 of the screen like we mentioned before. You get to fight aggressively while thinking strategically, as you always pick up the most amount of trust whenever you have good and proper equipment, and select the best suitable skills for the ever-changing circumstances. One of the things that it is worth noting is that basically, because a lot of the enemies are going to be different elements or different fighting styles, you're going to be able to kind of like mix and match your setup. So this is one of those games that you do kind of want to pay attention to what enemies you're about to head on with, because making sure that you have the proper equipment for each one of them is going to be key for victory. Alongside that, you get to fight with godlike boss battles, where battle ferocious bosses through the story, each with their own set of attacks and different challenges, upgrading abilities and acquiring new skills and new vital elements to finish each battle as you progress through the main story. There's multiple ways for you to be able to build your character. As your warrior, you're mastering the range combat with bows, different skills, and different formats to essentially complete the story and be able to get further and further, as once again there is a massively difficult post-game launch challenge that you're going to want to be able to finish once you kind of like finish the final boss. So yeah, I'm very excited for this game to finally release. It's been one that I've kind of been keeping my eyes peeled for. Hopefully I'll be able to get a review copy and be able to talk about it when it launches on Nintendo Switch on November 16th. I'm going to be leaving you guys with a couple of gameplay clips from the official PC build, which of course we don't have direct gameplay on the Switch just yet, but we expect the PC build to be relatively similar to what we'll experience on the Switch in a few months. If you're brand new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, hit the bell to